blame, you mad it.
I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then a middle piece. How to get myself up back before the bull run. How to text me, should stick it in the bullroom. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then a middle piece. How to get myself up back before the bull run. How to text me, should stick it in the bullroom. E-pop got me waiting 3 more hours. Sticking all these years higher than a tower. Having all these nodes feel like superpowers. Investing all this bread, never been a coward. Call me Mr. Bond, money in the vault. I stay in the front, feeling like the goal. Don't worry about the haters, not the detonator. I'll kill in every market, call me Terminator. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then a metal piece. How to get myself up back before the bull run. How to take some me, should stick it in the bullroom. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then a metal piece. How to get myself up back before the bull run. How to take some me, should stick it in the bullroom.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. My name is AJ, I'm the team lead here, and this is our live AMA. Another awesome day ahead, lots of info, and hopefully some alpha that all you guys are always wanting, some updates, and all that good stuff, as well as some special guests. So, but before we get started, I want to welcome my co-host with the most, LA. LA, how are you?
I'm good. What's up, everybody?
Awesome. Yes, another jam-packed day, LA. I know we have a lot to get through, and again, we're trying to keep these AMAs about an hour long. We may have some special guests that file in as well. But before we get started, I know a lot of you, have been asking for updates on Fusion. So we're going to talk about Impulse as well. But before we get to that, I wanted to bring on one of our devs. I know a lot of you guys have seen him in the chat. Obviously, Jake is our lead dev, but this is Shane. He's been with us for at least the last 8 months now. He was instrumental, him and his team, in rolling out all of our NFTs. And he's been building, again, with Jake behind the scenes over the last few months. Getting Fusion out. And, I know that we come on these AMAs, we try to give you as much info as we can, but it's good to hear, from other parts of the team, even if it does take away from their building time. So, all right, let me try to get Shane on. LA, can you unmute him for me?
He's good.
All right, Shane, what's up, brother? Are you there?
I might have to unmute myself.
Yes, there he is. All right, awesome, cool. Bro. So, hey, man, great to hear from you. I know, we're in chats almost every day trying to build out Fusion, and I just wanted to bring you on. I know you're an OG in the space. You understand how we have to bridge the gap between community sentiment and actually delivering on code that is not exploitable and safe and good for everybody. So I guess, bro, I just want to bring you on and maybe give everybody, a little bit of a background that, yes, we are building, Fusion is getting close. We would love to put out timelines, but, with coding, it's really not that simple. So go ahead, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously the last few days have been a bit awkward, considering that the testnet's gone down a few times and other issues on Binance side. But
for sure,
I mean, essentially we could just flop out a product, right? It's not like we couldn't do that because we are kind of that close. But the main issue is that you need to test it until there's no more tests to do, and then retest it and test it again, right? So because if you don't do that, you end up in a situation, where it's not just a matter of getting a new product out. It's gonna impact the ecosystem as a whole, right? and yeah,
100%.
we don't want that. So we just want a bug-free, safe environment for everyone, really. There are pressures. I get it. Like, there's pressures that we don't see from your side as well. So I understand that, but at the same time, any kind of dev team that kind of caves into pressures externally are going to make mistakes.
Totally.
So we'd prefer to just say it's ready when we can get all these green ticks on the test side of stuff, and then good to go. Just planning. I think as well, you were talking about maybe adding a few more things as well, in terms of like revenue, right? So
no doubt. Yeah, and that I know, again, we've been trying to get an MVP, or a minimum viable product, but the issue
constantly
is
changing.
exactly, bro. The issue is that every time we try to change something or update, that does push back the time frame. And yeah, I mean, we made a decision as a team that we need to have a few things in place with the MVP. One of them being the cash out batteries, because that allows people not to be locked into Fusion. Again, one of the major criticisms that we've gotten with the DOS integration. So because we have to have it that way, again, it adds a little bit more complexity that we just can't throw up the sacrifice page and roll with it. So again, I just wanted to, go ahead, Shane. Go.
Yeah, it's just a better, like, we just want to, I suppose, give like not just only the sacrifice and Fusion itself, but obviously something to give a better reason to sacrifice. And obviously when you do sacrifice, you're going to want a decent amount of rewards, right? So
totally,
there's got to be revenue streams coming in that will supply those rewards, because we're not we're not just going to be pretending, putting up massive APRs, draining everything, and then 6 months down the line everything's dead, right?
Exactly.
Which is kind of what has been the trend, and we don't want to go down that road, right?
Exactly.
So
that's what makes it be different and what we pride ourselves on. So it's real revenue. It's
exactly.
not a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, and I mean, and I mean, us as a team, we always choose, who we work with closely. Like, we know you guys, you guys have got the best intentions of everyone. So so have we in the long term. So
totally,
it's a good partnership in that way, and hopefully we can get something out, sooner rather than later. But I think timeline wise, it's not really possible to give it a moment. But I wouldn't put it, past sort of, I don't know, maybe sort of 6 weeks or something like that.
Totally.
Like, only because of the added stuff that we talked about.
And I know we.
So
and we tried to get things out by the end of the month. I know everybody's wanting it out, but again, we have
and we could
flawless.
Have, to be fair.
Yeah, no doubt, Shane. Yeah, and that was my point. Is that we have a reputation of never being exploited, never having downtime, and all that plays into rolling something out that we can all be confident in. So 100%.
Yeah. I mean, look at Pulse, right? I mean, that's got all the kind of buzz at the moment, but that took God knows how long to come out. I know that's a chain, so it's not really the same
for sure
ballpark. But
we're going to talk about that too, for sure, man. But no, you're right. And again, I think people don't understand. And again, this isn't a dig at anybody, but code is hard, man. You guys, again,
it's down to us as well. I think at the end of the day, like, we got to take some responsibility in the fact that we do need to explain things a bit more, because it is a bit difficult to understand really at first glance. I mean, but then the the MP ecosystem's always been a bit like that anyway. Even though this is streamlined, it's more like the language that, so because essentially Fusion's like a massive farm, right? But you don't really call it a farm. So, and I think that's where people are a bit confused in some respects, because they're like, oh, so I'm looking it up, but then I'm not going to be able to get anything out. Well, it's like, well, no, because everything that's going into it or being built around it is specifically for you to get rewards, right? So
for sure.
But I think it's we need to do a few things on that side anyway. I think we've been discussing it, partially. But yeah, we'll I think we'll kind of dive more into that and refine it once we've got an actual, end to end. That's all fixed now, ready to go product, right? So
Awesome. Well, yeah,
yeah.
and again, man, I appreciate you coming on. I just wanted
That's
to
right.
hear it, from the horse's mouth, so to speak. And again, Jake, our lead dev, he's been working with you guys hand in hand, because
Yeah.
a lot of the code that Jake built, is really next level, and it's been a learning process to integrate you guys into what he's already built, and not break things in the process. So yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of half the battle, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. All right. Well, I appreciate you jumping on. And as far as
No
the
worries.
education, I mean, yeah, we in LA, that was going to be a bit of alpha. We're working on the explainer videos. I know you've been
Nice.
super busy with that this week. You want to talk about that real fast, LA, and any other questions
For
for Shane
sure.
before we let him go? So yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, no, we've been going gung ho on it this week and getting all the scripts written. So those are going really well. And it's just really showing me that this simplification process was definitely necessary. And I'm excited to have it all broken down into bite-sized pieces for everyone. I think it's going to be really vital, not only for those who are already in the community, but for those who are coming in for the first time who will be new to the community as well. So I absolutely can't wait for those to be all finished and to get them being made. Yeah, we've been working on them. I've been typing up a storm every morning
Yeah, you've
to
done a
start the
total
day.
like 3
To
scripts,
start the
right? Yeah.
day with
Yeah.
EMP every day. So it's going great, and we're excited.
Cool. All right, awesome. Well, anything else in terms of Fusion? Obviously, we have a lot more to get to, but while we have Shane here, was there anything in particular that you've been a part of in our dev meetings that you think would be important for him to reiterate? Or, yeah,
Putting me on the spot.
I know, right?
I may need to think about that for a second.
All right, no worries. Well, again, I just wanted to bring him
Yeah.
on, and
I'm here.
yeah.
I'm here for a while anyway, mate. So,
All right, brother. Well, I know
I
it's
can
late.
always pop in.
Yeah, I know it's late for you. That's why I want to bring you on first. But yeah, all right. If anybody has any specific questions, that we can answer, we'll lump that into the Q&A at the end. So yeah,
I have one.
yeah. Go ahead, Alec.
I think that a lot of people are curious, once the sacrifice starts, will they start earning rewards right away, or what time period will there be between sacrifice starting and earning rewards? If you can go into that.
Yeah. So I can take
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
Go on. Yeah.
the first part of it, and then yeah, if you want to reiterate, Shane. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
sure.
mean, and it's funny that you say that, LA. I think it was a bit of a leading question, because this is exactly what we were talking about in the last dev meeting. The idea is that we want to have everything ready to roll, and I think that may have been a miscommunication on our part, where we had thought we would be able to do the sacrifice, and then let people kind of build their positions, but that sacrifice phase, that's going to be quite a long time where nobody was earning. And so you have this like momentum that dies off, because yeah, you're able to sacrifice, but if you're not actually earning, then there's a lot less hype and reason to continue to build your ownership in Fusion. So as of the last week, that has been a major change that we are hoping, and again, Shane can elaborate, but we're hoping to where the sacrifice is now part of the MVP, where as soon as you sacrifice, you will start being able to earn immediately, and that again is going to require some additional steps, including the cash out batteries, where again those that want to start cashing out immediately can, but this will allow you to yes, absolutely start earning as soon as sacrifice begins, so we don't have like a 2 week lull in between. But right, I think that's what we settled on, Shane. I don't know if you want to elaborate more. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think there will be maybe a period of lull that we have to sort out, but it won't be long. Like, and I'm sure there'll be a timer anyway on the UI from the time the sacrifice goes live.
For sure.
And I'm sure it will be within the same day anyway. But obviously there needs to be a certain period of time between the sacrifice and that, because we have to do a lot of stuff with the contracts that are existing, right? So, but yeah, in terms of that, I think Jake would be able to clarify on all stuff that isn't Fusion, like leading up to that. But yeah,
Totally.
for sure there'll be some low time, but it's not going to be. It's going to be negligible, basically.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and again,
Yeah.
that was maybe a miscommunication from the original white paper on our part.
Yeah.
You know, and as we are building this out, you know, to Shane's point, you know, while we're testing things and actually putting code, you know, out there, these issues come up, and we have to kind of say, yeah, you know, maybe it is a better idea to do it this way. It may take a little longer, which sucks, and we want to get it out ASAP. But at the end of the day, if it makes it more successful, then those are the decisions that we have to make. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's also quite a complicated testing environment as well, because you know we have to essentially like clone an entire chain and proxify it to actually test it. So
Totally.
because you have to essentially like mimic activity as well, you know, because you have to you know have activity within all the different contracts to then see if you can, you know, put stuff in there maliciously and all the rest of it in regards to testing. But so yeah, so that's why it's obviously taken the extra amount of time, but I think it's going to be worth it for everyone's peace of mind. So yeah, and obviously it's our reputation, your reputation, everyone else's money. So
yeah, 100%.
you know, high stakes. It takes a long time, you know.
Yeah, totally. Right on. All right,
So, yeah.
Shane. Well, again, man, I'll let you hang out. Again, if we get any other questions towards the end,
All right.
then I'll bring you back on. But all right, awesome. There you go, everybody. Shane, again,
Nice.
one of our lead dev. He's kind of the project manager on the whole deal.
Yep.
Scott is one of the lead devs as well as Jake, and then we have about 3 others that are the full stack working on the UI. So it's not just a few people, it's a whole team, and we're trying to
Yep.
really get it out the door. So awesome. All right, man. All right, cool.
No
All right.
worries.
All right,
Catch
so
you later.
yeah, man. All right, we're gonna move into Kirk. Are you here, Kirk? I would try to bring Kirk. We're going out of order today. My apologies. So we're just on a very crazy schedule with all of our guests. So Kirk, are you there, brother?
I am
Oh,
here.
all right, man. There he is. I know you were in your own AMA, and we had to start without you, but you have some exciting news in regards to Speakeasy, and I'd love for you to give us the details. So go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, man. Thanks for making a little time for me.
100%.
Speakeasy on this Saturday is launching its own native token called Drinks. And I'm really excited about it. It's basically going to be a utility token that will allow us to do a lot more innovative things with the protocol without changing the protocol itself. Because we've done pretty well with the protocol and we don't want to mess with something that's working. And but we wanted to be able to have more utility to do a lot of other things that'll be really exciting. So we're getting launched. You mentioned AMAs. I'm getting into AJ territory. This 6-day run up to Saturday, I'm doing 13 AMAs.
Oh man, I love it, Kirk. Yes, you're learning young grasshopper, right? Yeah. Oh man.
That's right. That's right. I've had plenty of tea and lemon and honey next to me,
For
and all I'm doing is talking constantly. Yeah, so we're excited about that. There is a website for the token, and it will be available on PancakeSwap like any other token, and there's a staking contract that goes along with it, so you can purchase and hopefully then stake your Drinks token to earn more Drinks tokens. And it's been really fun to be involved in this part of it because we didn't have a token. BNB is our native token for Speakeasy, so I didn't deal with any of that when we were setting this up, and so now we're doing it. And so if for those of you who are in EMP, if you haven't heard about this, you can pop over and check it out, and we'd love everybody to participate, and hopefully it's going to go well, which means more investment for Speakeasy into Fusion when it gets here.
I love it, brother. Absolutely, man. Well, that was a great high-level overview. I do want to just recap on a few things, and one of the major things is, which again, you probably should have led with. You guys have just now secured ROI for all the original participants, right? I mean, man,
yeah,
what an accomplishment.
Yeah.
So yeah, go
ahead. Yeah, no, you're right. I probably should have led with that, but yeah, no, we are entering into what I'm calling ROI season for Speakeasy, and basically starting this week, all of the people that were coming in that were the max wallet people that had the most to lose and took the most of a risk with us from the very beginning are now reaching their ROI, and so they'll be getting into the profit zone here. And then every week as we go from this point forward, everybody will follow along and be ROIing, and we're at the point now where we're paying out somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 100 BNB a week now, and we've been able to do that. We're almost 3 months old, and our treasury is basically untouched, so we've been able to keep as much in there as we had when we started, and paying out all the rewards, so that's pretty bullish. And now with this token, we're hoping to be able to open the system up a little bit wider without changing the like I said, the mechanics that have worked so far. So pretty excited about that. And I know I can count you among some of those people who came with us early, and I, really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And, really glad to get you to ROI.
Yeah, no doubt, bro.
So,
well, not only personally, but we also have a max wallet as the treasury. So yeah, that's now again about $600 in today's prices per week that the treasury is now yielding from Speakeasy. So again, we love what you're doing. It's a hell of an accomplishment to do what you've done over the last few months. And yeah, man, anybody sleeping on Speakeasy is missing out for sure. So, and again, one last thing to kind of go over, and then anything else you want to add, feel free. But can you just go over one more time? I think again, obviously it's a new token. It operates independently from the actual ROI contract. But maybe just go over one more time about how this benefits Speakeasy, but doesn't necessarily, change the protocol overall. Because I think some people are confused that they have to have this new token to participate and, all the other stuff. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Let me do this real quick. Hold on. Do I have like 2 or 3 minutes
Yeah,
to
absolutely,
go
sure.
with
Totally.
you guys? I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No,
but
go ahead.
let me do this. Since I've been AMAing like
Yeah,
crazy,
exactly. You're in the groove. Yeah.
I'm in the zone. Let me go ahead and share my pitch deck
Yep.
that I've been using.
Yep. Let me try to
And
get this on YouTube as well.
oh
So,
yeah, okay.
yep. All right.
Should I wait or just go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll get it up while you're talking. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, so we'll just go through this really quick. It's the Drinks token, as I already mentioned, and basically the token is going to be the standard BEP20 token on BSC. We're not on any other chains, and you'll be able to buy it and sell it on PancakeSwap just like you can EMP. And basically it's designed as a utility token, which EMP knows all about because that's what EMP is. And so even though EMP interacts with the whole financial system, ours doesn't, but still has utility that I'll explain real quickly here. And then also, we're backing this by the Speakeasy Treasury is backing this. So we're kind of doing it in a little bit different of a way. We are not doing any pre-sales or any whitelists or anything like that. Nobody is going to be able to come in ahead of anybody else when we launch on Saturday. Everybody will be at the same point. And the Speakeasy Treasury is going to be putting assets in to create the initial liquidity for the launch. So we've set the price. The initial price is 4 zeros and a 2. And there'll be 475 million tokens put into the liquidity pool. And those will then be locked with a multi-sig wallet on safe.com for that liquidity. Basically, the tokenomics are pretty straightforward. We're going to be minting 1 billion tokens. The contract does not allow us to mint any more, and it's not upgradable. That'll be split here, as you see, 475 million tokens going into PancakeSwap, 475 into our staking contract, and then we have a cutout for staff rewards and marketing and various other things if we need it. So why is this bullish for Speakeasy and for any of you that have bags already in Speakeasy? Well, the simple answer is because we're going to be getting a 2% tax on all of these transactions in and out of PancakeSwap and deposits and withdrawals inside of our staking contract. So those revenues will then go right back into our bank wallet and will then be either farmed back out to investments in things like EMP, or put into our pot, which pays rewards out to our members. So it's bullish for us being able to do that. The staking has been set at an APR of 60%. And the variable in the contract is how long do you want to stake your tokens for? So you would be able to define a short period of time as 7 days and as long as a year. And so as long as you set that, for as long as you set that, you'll be earning the APR at 60%. So why do all this besides earning a little bit of revenue for the treasury? The main reason we're doing it is to create utility, as I was mentioning in the token. The only thing that we're going to be doing at launch is the actual staking contract. But then after the token settles down a little bit and we kind of understand the price of it, we're going to start rolling out these utilities. So the first utility we're going to have is we're going to be able to let people buy and stake their drinks tokens to equal the status of having a membership key card, which is our NFT. So that's the first level for those of you who are in the protocol. You buy a membership key card NFT, which basically boosts your APR either to 0.5 a day or 0.75 a day. So what we're going to have is an option for people to say, well, you can buy the NFT, or if you don't like NFTs or whatever your reasons are, you want to be able to buy some drinks tokens and stake it and still get credit for having a membership in Speakeasy. You'll be able to do that. Similarly, we're going to do some APR boosts like we do with our SHOT NFT. But again, we'll allow that to happen with staking a certain number of drinks tokens for a certain period of time. We'll also now be able to offer on the secondary market on NF Trade that we use just like EMP does. We'll be able to, on some of the lower boosting cocktails, those sell slower than the big dogs for obvious reasons. Everybody wants to flex in. So we sometimes go and we sweep the floor and buy NFTs as the treasury and burn them. But this will also give us the ability off of the platform to offer people a way to sell their unused NFTs for drinks tokens that then they can then stake and earn that way. So again, giving us utility to work the system a lot more than we can now. Finally, we've gotten ourselves involved with other small protocols that we really like and that sort of share our vision. And so this will give us the ability to do more marketing with them and bundle tokens together with Drinks token and whatever their token is to try to promote both projects. And then finally, this gives us the flexibility to, as we're designing new features for Speakeasy, just like you're going through right now with Fusion, we'll be able to say, oh, well, we have this Drinks token that we can use for utility. We'll never replace the system that we're currently using. I don't believe in changing the rules in the middle of the game. And so it's not like we're saying, oh, we're paying out in BNB, now we're going to pay you out in Drinks token. No, no, no. The core protocol will stay exactly the same, but we'll be able to design more utility with the future protocols. And all the way up into, we may very well be able to create a whole second version of Speakeasy that does run on Drinks token and maybe can pay out a higher APR, but more risk. It's a native token. So just like you guys are doing with the Detonator contracts, we may be able to do another flavor of Speakeasy without touching the original version of it. And then the very last reason that we're doing this is as a marketing play. We're going to get people new eyes on the protocol because they get interested in the token and they'll go, oh, it's a utility token. What's the utility? Oh, it works with this thing. And maybe they'll be interested that way in putting in a bag into the primary protocol. So that's a really fast overview of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And just really excited about it.
Awesome, brother. No, that was perfect. That was exactly what I was hoping for. So, all right, let me go ahead and get my screen back up. And so while I do that, when is the launch, Kirk? Go ahead.
The launch is this Saturday at 4 p.m. UTC, which is noon Eastern, 9 Pacific time in the States. And the way we're doing it at that time, it's going to be around that time. As you know, we're going to be doing some things that we're not talking about in terms of trying to fend off bots.
For sure.
So at 4 UTC, we would want everybody to be around, and then sometime shortly thereafter, we'll go ahead and release the token address in our Telegram channel, and then everybody can just start purchasing the token.
All right, awesome. Well, it should be a party. I know if I'm around, I'm going to be there. And yeah, man, again, join the Speakeasy socials. Kirk, you've been killing it, man. Much respect to you for always building just like us and never just sitting back and waiting for things to happen. You're going out and making it happen. So yeah, totally.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And again, I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I would not be doing this and I wouldn't be where I am with it if it wasn't for you. And by extension, the team at EMP and the family in the community, I absolutely would not be here. And so, it's really been fun. I mean, it's a lot of work, as you know, and a stress certainly at times,
Totally.
but I've really enjoyed it. And, being able to throw your name around has been priceless. So,
brother. Totally.
So I appreciate you letting me do that. And we're very anxious to see Fusion go. I know you and I have had conversations and, we haven't sold one EMP token, and we don't plan to. And, I can't wait to get into the sacrifice with all of that and move forward with the protocol as soon as you guys are ready. I'm just very excited about that too. So I just want to say thanks again.
Awesome, brother. Yes, sir. Well, again, the feeling is mutual, and yeah, if you can piggyback on, EMP, and again, anything that we've laid forth, I welcome that, bro. And it's because you're one of the good guys. I know, everybody thinks it's glamorous to have their own project or start something like this, but nobody knows the amount of effort and work and time that it takes, but you do now because you've done it. And again, I think banding together with protocols that are here for the right reasons is what it's all about. So all right, awesome, Kirk. Well, thank you, bro. We will see you on Saturday for the Drinks token launch, and yeah, we'll hopefully have an update after that as well on the success. So
amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
all right, you got it, brother. We'll talk soon. All right, everybody. Well, again, about a half an hour in, and we haven't even gotten to our own protocol, but that's what it's all about. We did a little bit of updates with the devs earlier, but now we can get back on track with our regularly scheduled programming. Right, LA, man. What a jam-packed day already. But all right, I think that we probably need to step back and discuss Impulse and PulseChain. So, yeah, I know a lot of you, that was the topic of discussion on Monday, our AMA earlier this week. And we had thought maybe, it'll be a few weeks for the bridge. And lo and behold, the bridge is here in, about 24 hours after that AMA. However, let me have a big disclaimer here. Even though the bridge is up, those of you that have been following PulseChain, you understand that it's still a bit of a clusterfuck. So again, we have to be patient. I know a lot of you want us to release Impulse, capitalize on the momentum, but you have to understand that liquidity is king, and there would be no reason to try to rush Impulse out the door. Again, speaking of rushing things, and not have the infrastructure set up because even now the official bridge is extremely clogged. There really isn't a lot of liquidity on Pulse and PulseX as it is. And again, you have to bridge actual assets, like DAI and ETH and USDT, USDC, over to be paired with those assets, or else it's all dashboard money. And if you can't cash out or have that liquidity, then none of it even matters anyway because it's not actually profits in your pocket. So again, we want to get Impulse out. We're gonna do everything we can to do that. We also don't want to have an unsustainable model. Again, we could spin up a tomb fork, in a matter of days, but we're evolving past that, and we would love to be able to implement the fusion economics into Impulse rather than just having the typical seigniorage project or model. So all that will be dependent on again the time frame. Obviously we want to get fusion out first, and as long as that doesn't negatively impact the exposure on PulseChain for Impulse, then that is still the plan. But again, I think it's going to be a few weeks at least before we see any measurable liquidity on PulseChain. And I mean, the chain again, the momentum is there. I mean, the community is there. Richard Hart is a master at marketing. All that will come. And right now, everybody's getting wrecked on meme tokens anyway. They're launching copies of Pepe and Doge and all these other tokens that are having 500% swings in a day, and that's just not something that we want to. We don't need to get involved with that. We want to do things the right way when Pulse is ready for us. And we have some really bullish things in the background. One in particular that we hopefully will be able to release sooner than later that will absolutely capitalize on this hype and actually solve a potential problem. So we're not ready to go public with that yet. We're working on it in the background now. But if we can get this certain side project up and going, again, not taking away from dev time on Fusion, this could be even more bullish than Impulse. So again, we'll talk more about that hopefully next week. But there is something we're working on in relation to Pulse that will be a major benefit to everybody. So all right, again, I know I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. Obviously, I would love to see Impulse happen. We still have every intention of making Impulse happen. I would love to just be able to provide liquidity on my own for all of you, but not even my bags are that big. So again, we just got to kind of roll with the punches and wait for more liquidity to be established over on Pulse. So LA, was there anything specifically that you wanted me to elaborate on, or any other questions in regards to PulseChain or Impulse that you've been getting?
No, the only question that we got about Impulse tonight was for you to share that information that you literally just shared. So I think we're good on that.
Okay, awesome. All right, let me go back to my notes. Give me one moment. All right, so again, now that you guys have heard from, Shane and the dev team, that we are building, that we're as close as ever with Fusion. I think that we kind of need to have another rally around Peg and around again EMP and eShare. I think a lot of attention has been on PulseChain and away from what we're doing. We still are in a holding pattern, but that doesn't mean that the opportunity now, isn't as bullish as ever. So, LA, I don't know, you do such a great job on this. Can you maybe go over one more time about uh, why buying EMP this far below peg is such an amazing boost in your ownership of the protocol overall, and anything else you want to add to get us fired up? Go ahead.
For sure. Yes, I don't have the math in front of me for today's particular math, but and we all know that if I don't work it out ahead of time, I can't do it in my head. But Ethereum is at 1805 right now. So divide that by 4,000, and that means that EMP at the price of 1-to-1 ratio of peg is 0.45, so 45 cents. Currently, EMP is 13 cents. So that's quite a large difference. 0.13, I mean, over 3x that you would get. So basically what that means is for every dollar of EMP that you purchase now, when you go to sacrifice, you will be credited at the dollar value of peg. So, I mean, it's ETH is 1805 today, but obviously it will depend on what the value is the day that you sacrifice. Yes, so losing track. So it's an insane deal because as we get closer and closer to peg, which we will, that's going to become less and less and less and less because the 1-to-1 ratio at the dollar value of peg is not going to be as much of a multiplier because we are going to be closer to peg and closer to peg, which means the price of EMP today and every day forward as we get closer to peg is going to become higher. So the gap between that 0.45 that is at the 1-to-1 ratio of peg and the 0.13, that gap is not going to be as large anymore. So it makes sense to purchase while everyone's sitting around waiting and twiddling their thumbs to be that person that takes action, because those are the people that your bravery or courage or whatever you want to call it gets rewarded because you take action when other people are sitting around waiting for other people to take action.
Totally. No, great points, LA. And again, now that we are moving away from the inflationary model, that there will be no more EMP ever printed. And again, while the boardroom is not on, that's the case anyway. But the point is that literally every EMP that you accumulate is another EMP that somebody else can't have. And that is really important in terms of ownership in Fusion because again, the determining factor of ownership is the amount of EMP that is then staked into the central grid. And when there's a finite supply of EMP, in fact, EMP may become deflationary over time. That means that you want to have as much EMP as you can at the best prices, and anybody selling, again, we've also seen some people that maybe don't believe in Fusion or trying to take some money off the table for whatever reason. That's an opportunity for you to then accumulate more. So again, I know a lot of you have your bags packed already. This is not a call to invest. Obviously, never invest more than you can afford. But those that take advantage of these sort of opportunities are the ones that are set up extremely well for the future. So, and again, eShare has been in a nice little channel. Obviously, anytime eShare is below $100, I think that is an incredible opportunity, not financial advice. And we've seen it finally kind of reach a floor, I think, and people starting to accumulate that again as well. So, and we did a deep dive on the last AMA in terms of why EMP and eShare is bullish long term from the economics of it all. We did a long talk about again why eShare will still have value. And so please listen to that AMA if you have not already. And we're happy to answer any questions directly at the end here. So, all right. Anything else in regards to that, LA, before we move on to some questions or any other? We went through our video update and the Fusion update, so we're moving right along. But yeah, or anything you want me to elaborate on? Go ahead.
Awesome. Yeah, no, we actually only have a few questions tonight, which shocked me.
Amazing. That means
Looks like you've been doing a good
yeah, I
job
was just gonna
answering
say,
them.
we're doing our job then, right? Getting the word out for sure.
Awesome. So here's the first one. AJ mentioned there was something important about the word sacrifice as it related to taxes. Can he speak more about that?
Yeah, so we purposely use the word sacrifice because, again, and let me back up a little bit too. I mean, this is the Wild Wild West. There are no really regulations or rules that we can play inside of. So we just have to do our best to navigate the waters. And, EMP as a whole, it is a utility token. We never had a pre-sale. It's a closed loop economy where the values are determined by other users, not by us as a protocol. So, based on all the, legal advice and everything that we've learned over the years, we are operating within, those guidelines, even though the guidelines are very vague. And all that being said, it's code on the internet. I mean, we're not managing anybody's funds for them. We're not acting as what would be considered a security or having, expectation of profits from the work of others. So we use the word sacrifice because there is no expectation of that profit. So, again, a lot of other protocols do this. Richard Hart, again, did this with the original Pulse sacrifice. And that's another reason why the original liquidity was not added on day one. I mean, those tokens were valueless, and within Fusion, your position in Fusion is valueless until again the rewards start coming in. So we use it again as a preventative measure, and that there is no expectation of profit. But yeah, I mean, it's really just vernacular at that point. But as far as tax implications, yeah, again, if you're airdropped a token or sacrifice into something with no value, then that means that you start without a cost basis. So again, in U.S. law, that matters. So yeah, hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, here's the next one. How long will the initial sacrifice period be? Will we still be earning a return during that period? I think we answered that, so we probably can skip that one.
All right, yeah, well, and that was again the whole point of bringing on Shane and the beginning of this AMA. That is a change that we have been working through over the last week. We want people to start earning immediately, and unfortunately, it's going to add a little more dev time, but it makes it much more, the hype will happen a lot more once we are live because people will be like, holy shit, I'm earning already, and that will drive more adoption.
Awesome. Here's a fun one. Will the L1X DEX incorporate the DEX vaults on them?
Yeah, so this is a great question. And again, for those of you that stuck around to the end, a little bit of alpha on the decks. So yeah, we've been again juggling a lot of balls in the air. I mean, obviously, Fusion is the #1 priority, but we are working on the premier launch decks for L1X. And yeah, so let me answer the question, and then I'll give some alpha. The question is absolutely. I mean, there will be an engineering layer on top of the DEX where not only DEX vaults, maybe even some borrowing and lending options, but other protocols will be able to build on top of that layer. So, yeah, I mean, the idea is that we become not only the most efficient DEX in terms of, bridgeless swapping, but also in terms of capital efficiency, where all of these layers on top of the DEX will have access, to all of the liquidity on all those chains. So yeah, we absolutely have intentions of having the DEX vaults on top of the exchange. And who knows? It may if L1X can do everything that we think it can, then there will be, a full absorption of all of those protocols onto that one centralized, exchange. So, and we have a dev meeting tomorrow, actually, tomorrow morning, with the L1X team, and they have some news for us that could be another potential game changer. The way that the liquidity will operate could be very different than uh, what we were and are expecting. So if that is the case, again, I can't really say too much, especially until we have this meeting tomorrow. But that could open up the doors tremendously in terms of liquidity for the DEX. And again, like I said earlier, and like I've said all along, liquidity is king. And if you can capitalize on native assets and not have to rely on liquidity providers, I mean, the sky's the limit. So we'll have more info on that. And then the last bit of alpha is we're almost ready to announce the name of the DEX as well as all of the socials. So that should be ready by tomorrow. So we finalized all the branding. Everything looks amazing. LA, what do you think? Are you happy with how everything came out?
It looks so good. I'm so excited for everyone to see.
Yes, totally. So very, very professional. Again, we're going after not only the crypto bros, but also the traditional finance look, and it's super professional, very straightforward. It's not a mascot or a food group that we've named our decks after. And yeah, so I think everybody will be really excited for that. And again, we'll start leaking all that to you. If you're in the EMP socials, you'll be the first to, be able to join our Twitter and uh, our Discord and our Telegram. So, and we are working with the L1X team directly. So we're going to start piggybacking on a lot of their own marketing, which they've been killing it. I mean, they were on like uh, they've been all over the world the last month. We met here in Miami, and then they went to Dubai. They were on the Bloomberg report. They were on the Nasdaq. So they've been killing it in terms of exposure, and we want to start piggybacking on all that as well. So, all right, that was a massive update on the DEX. But anything else you want to add to that, LA?
I think you covered it all. I don't know what else I could add, but hold on to your seats. You guys are going to be really excited when you see all the socials, the branding, and when we announce this news that we're going to find out tomorrow.
Totally. Well, and again, if you see, any of our official pages, please help us spread the word. Don't get scammed either. Again, make sure it's, the official links, which we'll be posting anyway. And there's a few little Easter eggs too in the logo that we'll release next week as well. I think a lot of you will be excited. But the DEX finance team, again, their lead Jake, he's been crushing it. We'll have an MVP hopefully of the DEX itself within the next week or two, so you can see that working. And then Kevin from L1X also is running a hackathon this coming week as well, and should have some incredible news on L1X by the end of the month. So again, there's just a ton of things happening. We have a lot of irons in the fire, but at the end of the day, all of it is revenue leading back to EMP, and EMP will always be the mothership as we move forward. So if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will in terms of the future of EMP. So, all right, awesome. All right, go ahead, LA. Any other questions or?
There's a lot of little pieces right now that we can't quite fully disclose that I think when we're able to, it might all be around the same time that we're able to disclose them. And when we do, it's going to be like ape shit bananas.
No doubt, and it's absolutely the case. I mean, obviously, we'd love to be able to give everybody everything at once, but that's just the nature of the beast. And to LA's point, there could be a time in the very near future where everything is finally out there, and by then it's too late because we see multiple percentages gains on EMP day after day after day. So.
All right, we got one more question.
All right.
Just ordered my Keystone Pro, so hopefully I'll receive it before Fusion, but if not, will I be able to transfer my Fusion NFT across to my new wallet?
Yeah, so yes, I mean again, regardless of what hardware device you use, as long as it supports NFTs, then yeah, I mean the idea is that as soon as Sacrifice is live, again, this is another reason why we have to have a lot more to the MVP, minimal viable product, on launch than we were anticipating. But yeah, I mean, we would want to be able to have you, you know, uh, take ownership of those microgrids immediately, and be able to transfer them to whatever wallet you would want. So yeah, that is all part of what we're hoping to have ready on the day we go live. But we'll just keep you updated as we get closer. And yeah, it'll function as every other NFT. Uh, uh, so it should be compatible with hardware wallets.
Awesome. So there were a couple that I answered pretty thoroughly through typing. So if you didn't hear us read it out loud in the AMA, make sure you check back in the Fusion questions or the AMA questions. And I just want to read through the comments one more time and see if there's any more in there.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I think we did good again today. We covered a lot, but I feel like we were pretty concise, so that's good. Again, about an hour, and then Birdie in the background there, she's excited. So I guess we did our job today, LA.
Birdie's excited.
She
Yeah, I
is.
think that's it for questions. We're light on questions today, which means we must be doing our job, answering them, and you guys are getting it more. So I'm into it.
All right, awesome. Well, yeah, and we again, we everything that we talk about, we try to be as transparent as we can. But there's also a lot of things we have up our sleeves. If you're in the VIP, I did an announcement in there. Feel free to reach out to me if you have questions on that. So not only are we building for Fusion and the DEX, but we're also setting up again the additional infrastructure in terms of yield for Fusion as well. So, we are focused on real yield first, and that will carry Fusion, and the returns that all of us want, no matter what happens. And again, I think as long as you can take comfort in that, knowing that we're getting it already, I think that gives people a lot more confidence in what Fusion will be. So, all right, awesome. Then yeah, LA. Any final words before we wrap it up? Go ahead.
Thank you all, you beauties, for being here. We love you. We appreciate you. You all rock. And we will see you next time.
100% LA, wonderful. So yeah, I can't add to that. So on that note, yes, everything LA said, and we will be here every Monday and Thursday, 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Monday, hopefully again, a lot more alpha to share in terms of the decks, as well as the socials, and obviously any more with Impulse or Fusion as well. So all right, good night, good day. Love you all. Bye bye.